Hello everyone, today we're going to be making some beef ramen with these beef taste Knorr ramen packets, and let's jump right into making the broth. First we're gonna prepare the broth, so I got myself some beef bones there, about 1.3 kilograms of them. I'm just putting in the bowl here. And I also have some bones loaded with bone marrow, which is gonna give the broth a more strong, beefy taste. And I'm just gonna cover this with water, just so about it covers it all. And this is essentially gonna rest in the fridge for tonight, and essentially kind of make sure that all of the blood and other things that we don't want in our broth in the end are just gonna come out. And so I'm just gonna put a lid on this, put this in the fridge overnight, and we're gonna cook tomorrow. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like tomorrow. So we're just gonna prepare the marinade for our Chashu pork belly here. Just combining some soy sauce and some water there. The water just making sure there's enough volume to cover everything. We have some sugar there for some nice sweetness, and it will also help caramelize later. Then we put in some mirin for some additional sweetness and a bit more of a complex flavor for our marinade here. Some MSG for just pure umami flavor that you really want to make this chashu really, really flavorful. Alright, I'll just put it in, and then I'm just gonna close that back up so it doesn't spill anything onto my table. So, next we're gonna put this up to the side. This is now finished. Now we're gonna grab our beautiful pork belly here, and we're just gonna get it out of its packaging, get it all ready to be marinated. We have a Ziploc bag here. We're just gonna grab that Ziploc bag, open it up so we can combine the marinade and the pork belly in there. As you can see, I'm slightly struggling. I recorded this yesterday. I looked really stupid there. Should probably cut this one out. Too late for that now. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. Pasta, there you go. Alright, I'm just gonna put this in there. And then just make sure that you have a Ziploc bag that fits everything. Alright, make that nice, neat. Next, we're just gonna pour it over the pork belly, store it in the fridge overnight. We'll see it tomorrow. It's the next day, and we're just gonna take that dirty water, pour it out, and clean our bones. So, after you've cleaned off your bones, they should look something like that, and we're just gonna move them to a new pot, and then we're gonna put in the aromatics and cover with water. So next we're gonna go to the aromatics. We're just gonna grab 2 big sweet onions, and we're just gonna quarter them and put them in the pot. First one goes in, and then some cloves of garlic, just whole cloves. Just peel them and put about 3 to 4. And then we have our second sweet onion, and we're just gonna quarter that and that goes in as well. Next we're gonna cover this with some cold water, just enough to cover it. And next up we're then gonna go to cooking out all the scum, and we're gonna remove it, and I'm just gonna show a small clip of how you're supposed to do it. Remove the gray scum until there's none coming to the surface, and make sure to stir so any scum trapped underneath comes out to the top. Next we take our Chashu pork belly that we've prepared yesterday and pat it dry to make it ready for the pan. After you've pat it dry, just put it into a pan and sear on all 4 sides. Now, after you've seared off your Chashu pork belly, just put it out of the pan and into a pot. We're gonna keep covering this with some cold water, and we're just gonna let this simmer, cook down, and get soft alongside our ramen broth, so for multiple hours. And it's gonna be so soft that the fat just kind of melts on your tongue, which is gonna be amazing. Now for the moment of truth. After about 30 minutes, the gray scum was no longer appearing, and afterwards I simmered this for another 3.5 hours. Now I'm just gonna remove the bones, and as you can maybe tell, on the bones there's still some meat on there, so if you can manage to pull that off, it's very soft and tasty, so it's a great snack to have in between finishing this ramen. And I'm just simply gonna prepare it for straining, which will happen now. Now we're gonna strain this, just get this through a fine sieve and into a large enough bowl. We're just gonna pour it in there, and there's still gonna be some pieces in there. So a lot of the broth is just gonna pass right through, but some of it is still gonna be stuck in the sieve. So I'm just gonna be taking this thing and just pushing it against the sieve to get the rest out. Alright, now we're gonna do the tare seasoning. For this, we're just gonna combine 100 milliliters of soy sauce. This is just gonna be the base for our tare. Next up, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. This is just gonna help deepen the flavor of the ramen, and it's just gonna be tasting great in our finished product. So put it in, put it off to the side. For some more sweetness, we're putting in 1 tablespoon of mirin. Just make sure that spoon is full and then put it in. Then you can put it off to the side. Next, we're just adding some additional table salt to add a little more saltiness so the ramen balances out with its salt levels. And finally, we're just gonna put some MSG, and afterwards I'm just gonna use the flavoring packet and combine that, but that's gonna be in the next scene. Now, for the first appearance of the star of the show, we're just gonna take the flavoring packet that's within the beef taste Knorr ramen. We're just gonna put it in, stir it around to combine. And essentially this tare is just gonna be 1 tablespoon or 2 at the bottom of our bowl, and then we're just gonna pour the broth over, and that's gonna combine and make our final ramen broth. So, this is how our Chashu pork belly looks after 3.5 hours of just simmering, getting very soft. I let this rest for 3 minutes before cutting it, so I'm just gonna cut it into sizable, manageable pieces, and these are gonna be going into our ramen as the main topping. And I'm just gonna finish slicing these and then put them off to the side, and then we're gonna prepare the other toppings and assemble this thing. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's assemble this thing. So firstly, 3 tablespoons of our nice tare with the flavoring packets go at the bottom of the bowl. Then we're gonna pour over our nice broth. We're just gonna make sure that that's enough for our noodles to really get nice and soaked, because we're gonna use the broth to cook our noodles. So we're just gonna essentially get enough broth, combine that with your tare, and then we're just gonna put in these noodles. They take 3 minutes. You want your broth hot, so if you've waited too long, you may have to reheat the broth to make sure it's hot enough to get the noodles soft. You can also just grab the noodles, put them in, and put it in the microwave for 1 minute if it's just not working. It should be soft after that. So I'm just gonna put that in, get myself a spoon, around a bit, and I'm just gonna wait for 3 minutes. I'll see you then. Alright guys, we're just about done. Let's finish up this ramen. So the noodles have been soaking in the hot broth for 3 minutes and are cooked through and soft. I'm just putting some beautiful pieces of our chashu on there. Then I'm just putting some pieces of nori seaweed for presentation. And then I'm just gonna take this nice egg that I boiled for 6 minutes. As you can see, still nice and runny in the middle, just how you like it. And then we're gonna put in some spring onions. You can put a lot of other stuff on there, a lot of other toppings, and also some aromatic oil, but for today I went with something simple. I'm just gonna show you it up close. Here we are, our beef ramen finished with some nice chashu and the beef taste ramen from Knorr. And yeah, this tasted amazing, and goodbye. Thank you for watching.